across it without realizing that I was a small part of it.
We've got two new small software companies that have moved downtown, and this bridge was a factor.
It's a little difficult to describe the efforts that have gone on and are still going on to make this bridge possible.
This is a tough business. And things don't happen by coincidence. We work very hard.
So far, at this stage of the work, we're very pleased with where we are.
The second year of construction brought major milestones to the new Tacoma Narrows Bridge. But even with all the activity in the water and on the ground, we still found time to catch up with Earl White, a local ironworker who helped build the existing bridge.
Oh, there was never a dull moment. And your iron workers were a pretty rough breed of cat. They'd do anything for you, but they'd fight you at the drop of a hat too. We worked right from the water up, so actually there was no big impact. You'd just jump another height. And I think putting up the catwalk was probably the most treacherous part of the job, really. Stringing the storm cables and getting squared away, and once you got the catwalk up, well, then it was pretty much routine.
Work finished below the surface as dive teams cut away the false bottoms, and dredging lowered the caissons to their final depths.
Caisson construction has gone quite well. We built the caissons in their floating condition until we touched the first one down at the bottom of the Narrows in mid-December. We touched the second caisson down in mid-January. Since then, we built the caissons up higher, and we started digging the caissons into the sea bottom.
When we first go in, the diver goes down, opens up on the top of the dome a 4-foot hole, which then he can climb inside, and then we burn around horizontally all the way around the dome, which frees it up from the cutting shoe itself.
We have poured the outer shell of the distribution cap to act as a temporary cofferdam or wall to keep the water from flooding the caisson as we finish digging through the dredge wells through the hollow inside of the caisson. Then we'll complete the top of the caisson, the distribution cap, and the caisson will be ready to receive the pedestals, which are the first step in tower construction.
While work progressed to the tower stage, a critical component for the suspension cable was being created at Atlas Steel, a local foundry that produced parts for the existing bridge.
We poured the first large casting for the new Narrows Bridge, the East Splay saddle casting. We put together about 36 tons of steel, low alloy steel, and poured casting, which will weigh about 42,000 pounds when it's all done and machined and fabricated.
This foundry competed with foundries like it all over the world to do this job on quality and price. We're pretty excited that Tacoma is helping to build the bridge, and 320 people work here. From the look of it, 50 or 60 of them were involved in making this pour. So for us, it's just exciting to come out and see all the skills and to watch the steel go in the mold.
The roadway crew faced major challenges as changes in traffic flow put pressure on commuters and work schedules. Juggling lanes to prepare work for the toll plaza proved easier than preparing for the historic weather that tested the engineering and will of the men and women on the highway widening job.
We started out the wet season last year in October with an unprecedented 6-inch rainfall. We prepare for a 10-year storm and we handle those quite easily, but a 150-year storm is just a tremendous amount of water.
That was really a setback. We had a tremendous momentum going in our favor. We were working on preparing for the rain season, and was I happy about it? No. Is there was something I could do about it? Yes. We could remedy the effect.
Through this year, we've completed all the county road improvements. We've also completed pretty much the entire westbound portion of the highway in Gig Harbor, and that allowed us to put all the traffic on the westbound side and opened up the entire eastbound side, which includes the toll plaza, for construction through this year and into next year. But the work is not complete where we can perform finished landscaping. So what we are able to do is temporarily cover those areas with plastic, and we've probably got 8 to 10 acres of plastic on the ground right now.
And I have to tell you that this year we are fully prepared. We had turned around the approach to environmental, and I always like to talk about the triangle of success, which are the cornerstones of a project, which is environmental performance, our safety record, and the quality of the job. If you have that covered, and if you really involve the people, you're going to be successful.
The management on this project are committed to quality, and they believe that quality really starts way before we turn a piece of equipment on or plug in a skill saw. It really begins at the planning stages, and everyone's committed from the top to the bottom of the project. Everyone's excited about building a better product that's going to last for hundreds of years and be a legacy for us.
I've never been around anybody that really pushed any harder, had any more commitment to the schedule and get things done on time and correctly. You know, the job premise has been build it once and build it right.
As the towers reach above the car deck, commuters are encouraged to focus on driving to avoid accidents. To give everyone a safer look, Pierce County dedicated the old Doc Weathers property as the new Narrows Park in June. Along with the beautiful day, the park's spectacular views and improvements were cause for celebration.
I first thought of this being a park. The idea of a second bridge here wasn't in the offering then, but there was already an existing bridge, and this was a nice view of that. And now that we are in construction of a second bridge, it's even a better view. It all worked out real well, better than I had possibly dreamed of. My dream was just to get the property into community hands, so there's good examples here how a park should be created.
Park visitors now watch the towers take shape with the help of an ingenious device.
The form system that we use, commonly called the birdcage, has turned out to meet our expectations as far as performance goes. It allows us to get into our 4-day cycles and from concrete pour to concrete pour, and also offers a relatively high safety comfort factor when it comes to safety.
We recognized that once the caisson was done, the towers, although complex to build, it's an element of work that is more common in the construction industry. It's concrete and forms and rebar, and a lot of the risk elements were taken out of it, and it was an area where we knew that we could excel once we began that work.
The system uses a self-lifting technology that allows the towers to progress safely and efficiently. Steel and concrete grow within the forms of the birdcage as the towers grow skyward. The repetitive process, while seemingly simple, demands adherence to strict tolerances to ensure strong legs for the superstructure components to come.
The biggest change to look for is when you see a cable coming from that tower behind me to where we're standing. That'll be the first sign that the superstructure work has started. We're setting up the catwalks and the cables for the spinning.
Cables won't be the only thing spinning, as the community politics on both sides of the Narrows put a spin on the environmental, social, and economic impact of the project.
3-4 years ago, we established the employment zones around the city of Gig Harbor. We have 800 acres just north of the main harbor that is dedicated to housing development and for the commercial development that is coming. It is here already. They are developing within our development guidelines, and we're just delighted to have those commercial areas with us.
81% of the vehicles that cross from the east side of Puget Sound to the west side of Puget Sound cross at the Narrows. 81%. That is a huge number of people using this corridor. 60% of that traffic that goes across the bridge today either originates or terminates in Tacoma and Gig Harbor. So it has a tremendous local significance, but also is that gateway, that portal to the rest of the Olympic Peninsula.
Well, the community has gone through some changes, I think. We've been here since the construction has begun, and now I think the sentiment is they just want this thing to get over with, to get it done, to get the bridge open so we have these thoroughfares of traffic and bring life back to normal.
You know, it could be very beneficial to my friends up north in Kitsap County, Bremerton, and Silverdale, because it may result in not that many people crossing the bridge.
Well, I think most people in Bremerton believe the Second Narrows Bridge is a very positive thing for this community, for our community, and for this region. It's all about economics, and we're sort of an island community, and one thing that's held us back from economic growth and vitality has been this transportation problem. So this is a very positive thing for our community, the second bridge.
We have this huge monolith, nearly $1 billion, and yet the city of Tacoma's infrastructure is crumbling. And it is frustrating. The big city mayors are going to carry the message to the legislature.
This project is key to handling the population growth that is us, that's here, and also providing for safer movement of people, freight, and goods. And that's important. That's quality of life. At the same time, we want businesses to grow, to locate here as the population grows. And that's why we have to have an efficient, safe transportation system to support those companies and their workers.
It's my hope. I'm being optimistic here that the pros will outweigh the cons, and that it will improve circumstances. But you know, it remains to be seen.
So for us, it's a win-win. We're going to get the advantage of being able to commute back and forth in a quicker manner. So we're happy about that. But the big thing for Bremerton is that it's going to allow us to diversify our workforce. It's going to allow us to attract new companies to town who are not going to see that transportation linkage issue as such a problem.
As construction maintains an aggressive schedule, some of the realities of the new infrastructure come into focus.
With regards to the tolls, the new system of collecting on the electronic sensors and so forth, making it as easy as possible is going to be important. But in discussions with friends and neighbors and so forth, the biggest objection is the 2 lanes. Most of us are single-car commuters.
High occupancy vehicle lanes are a touchy subject in the community. You either love them or you hate them. Those that use them frequently like it and they like the benefit they gain. Those that don't trust it as well. But I can say that in every HOV project that we have built, you do see added capacity in the corridor.
The HOV element of the project, which is really a core element of the project, gets to the issue that the Tacoma Narrows Bridge project, which covers about 3.5 miles of Highway 16 from Jackson to 36, is really part of an overall corridor improvement that will reach all the way back to I-5 in the Tacoma area and then out to the Olympic interchange on the Gig Harbor side and eventually beyond out toward Purdy.
We do believe it's going to be effective, and we do believe it's going to be an efficient way of moving people. Part of that is going to be the proof at the end. But have we worked closely to discuss it and explain how the decisions were made, why they were made? Yes, we have.
Interest in the project remains high. Local residents continue important involvement. Their contributions help shape the final outcome in the evolving design-build environment.
It was just kind of neat to know that I was a part of the process, that my wife and I could be involved in our community and really, I think, help shape the outcome of where this thing's going to end up.
Tacoma Narrows Constructors has proven themselves to be a dynamic team. We've spent a lot of time focusing on relationships and communication, and we have a good relationship. We have a great working relationship, and we've got good results.
WashDOT has been a tremendous partner, and they've worked very hard to integrate with us as one team. You know, you've probably seen the logo. I think it's one project, one team, and they live that. They really believe that, and we've worked very hard with them to make that a reality.
So we have to take a time out and say, what have we done? And why have we done it? And what have we learned? And how can we sustain that success? So I think the mission for next year and the years after is harvest on the success that we've had and how to sustain it. And while we do that, identify what we can do better. That is from the human side. We have still room to improve, and we will improve. From the construction side, then we're going to see the towers completed.
If there's one thing that people keep asking me is, am I aware that the towers are leaning? And yes, that we're aware the towers are leaning. They were designed that way.
We're going to see probably the part I like the best about a bridge, which is the spinning of the cable. We're going to see the installation of suspenders. So next year is going to be very visual.
While we look forward to the day traffic passes between the two new towers, we're reminded that it's important to look back, to appreciate the legacy that excites as much as it inspires.
Sometimes when you'd come up in the mornings, why it was socked in with fog, and maybe you'd get up to the 500-foot level and all of a sudden your head would stick out of the clouds and it was just brilliant. All the mountaintops showed, and you just can't imagine the feeling. It was like as close to heaven as we thought we'd ever get.